Hello everyone, I'm audible. Cannot hear the voice. Okay. Is it okay now? Clear? A very warm and good evening to all of you. Yeah, such warm response. Thank you, thank you. So how is your day like? It's been good? How is that, Josh? So guys, the journey is for the Python and machine learning. And have seen a lot of people are given the request for Python that they know it. And but still I'm going to start with the basics. And a lot of people have written that is a Python and I would like to go towards machine learning, and a very warm response was there. Yes, yes, good. So we will wait 1 or 2 minutes for other participants also, they are also joining. In the meanwhile, I will have to try to have the conversation in Hindi and English also, but mostly it will be English. So how many of you have doubts, like any particular doubt or question you have in mind before we start? Okay, it's great someone from IIT is also here. And yes, we will start from the basics. Yes, yes, I do teach data science in my profession. So people who are asking who am I, my name is Nitesh, and I'm working as an analytics person in the company. Currently holding the technologies that I do in practice are Python, R, SQL, machine learning, data science it is, and Tableau. These are what is core required in my analytics domain. SQL is also there, okay? Maybe as per different domains, we have different designations, and you will love the speakers also who will come. In just about after 3 or 4 days, you will amazed to see the speakers from IIT Kharagpur and IMT Ghaziabad, a faculty who is working in the same profession. They will be all coming. Either I will confirm the day just by tomorrow when it's that, but they are going to come in this week only. So just stay tuned to get in exposure how they have actually learned Python machine learning and what are they currently doing. That is a new challenge they have accepted. Okay. Use any device. Today it's just beginning introduction, and how I'm going to code. I will just share everything with all of you on my GitHub link, so you can download it from the platform. Well, in today's session, I'm going to discuss about all in and about of Python. People who don't have any idea, so I have prepared something for non-technical persons also, and for that you will be, it's very grateful. Like currently I will not be working directly on the Google Collab. First I will help you understand where to code and what are the different variations of Python we have. So I'm just opening the my whiteboard. Here it is. Yeah, I hope this whiteboard is also visible to all of you. So we will start the journey of Python now, and then later on I will tell which platform I am using and which platform is better for you also. So guys, like those who are asking for attendance, the attendance link will be shared in the session only. Link shared in session. So I would request you, if you are, since it is a YouTube live, so you can again go back and just see the picture with what is the link and apply, because attendance is mandatory, and you will be very amazed that I will be making this next 5 days so much easier as per the theoretical part, that you can also submit the project to us. And those who are going to submit the project, they are eligible for certification. That is the about the program. And if we talk about today's agenda, what and why Python? Why it has now become a huge in demand now. After 2018 there was a huge surge in learning in Python, they have seen. So why you too have to take Python? And once you have understood what was the reason, so operating system, what about the programming languages that you can do, and after that how to go with the source code, then byte code. So different types of code we discuss, and then we discuss about the high level, low level language. Once we are all on the same page, it will hardly take 10 to 15 minutes to close this session for these topics. Then actually I'm going to discuss what Python you have to consider, what are the different implementations of Python. Okay, so guys, like if I ask, like everyone is nowadays talking about Python, and it has become a very key role to enhance yourself. So any idea from what level students have started learning the Python? At what age students are nowadays started learning the Python? Any idea on that? Okay, 8, 5. Four, not maybe like that. So the people or students who are learning the Python and why it has become the search, you have to understand the first all the history on that. Python was very first implemented by Github and Rossum in 1991. And while he was building the Python, he was a good in mathematics. I will later on tell you like why being good in mathematics he has helped lakhs of others users or programmers to make using the Python as their core programming language. वो इतना important क्यों हुआ इसके बाद? So at that time, if you just go timeline down the line in 2008, 5 to 2010, you were having, or your parents, if I talk about, they were having the systems in which the operating system was very older, of course, but it was like at that time having the i3 was a dream come true. If I talk about the RAM, hardly like 256 MB, that was the highest RAM available in the desktops. And if we talk about hard disk, so hard disk was like around up to 20 to 40 GB. So this was like just 15 years back. But now what has happened? That trend has somewhat changed. Like in India, we were used to have the system at that of this level. But what happened? Just if you talk about outside India, they were having the higher configuration of computers. In outside India, people are already having the highest configuration of computers outside India. They were having the operating system also i5 has come in that time in 2010 around, and RAM was around up to 2 GB they were having, and hard disk was up to like 500 GB. They started having that thing. This was outside India, and they started already working on Python as the language. They started working on machine learning, data science, and also we have the companies that were generating a huge amount of data, like your Google or Facebook, Microsoft, because it is like a browser. So we were having that Internet Explorer on which people were used to explore a lot. So these were a huge amount of data started generating, and people outside India in 2010 they were having this configuration of the systems, and because at that time they were having the systems, they started working on Python and machine learning. It was just 10 years back outside India, and that is why you can just cross check on the Google also that Harvard in 2013 has referred this data scientist as the sexiest job of 21st century, and they have declared in that time, in as per now it's 8 years back, but in India we have started recognizing now it is being focused like this is the 21st century job, highest possible available. And now what happens, it's 2016 till 2020 we started having a highest configuration of systems. The systems of around i7 is available with the minimum config, like first version or second version. We were having around you can say started having the minimum 4 GB of RAM, and we started having the hard disk of minimum 1 TB, or not up to 1 TB you can say, but now it's minimum 1 TB people are getting. Along with that, you are also started having that GPU, that is the graphical processing unit, and it was around 512 MB RAM for that, or 1 GB. So the companies now change their focus. Companies said like people going down the line, now they have all the systems available to them themselves. They don't have to waste time. Why waste time on training new persons where although they are already learning the same thing in their course curriculum? In India, if we talk about in 2018, CBSE has replaced the programming language and said Python you all have to do. Now people as young as like 12 years, they have started learning the Python. This is what I have actually literally witnessed also. So they are learning Python. So what stage you are at? So 2018, and you can assume like by 2025, they will be excelled in the same thing. They will learn all the things in Python, including your database, along with database, your website development, and your data science, machine learning, even AI, the applications AI, they will be literally working. So a quick tip, if you would like to get the job right now in 2 years, please start switching it. At least you'll get a job, a decent level job, because you have learned the skill. In India, people are more focused to have degrees, and it's no longer by just 2 years down the line. They will say like you have to have the graduation degree in hand before you can get the job, and that graduation degree is to be expertise in data science and machine learning. So just mark these words like just 2 years, but 2024 maximum, and after that I think this degree will be mandatory in the colleges at the smallest level. So this is the reason why Python has become and taken a huge jump in this era, after 2016, that we started having the systems of highest configurations nowadays. The GPU is already available to you. You have good amount of RAM. You even have the hard disk available to you. So company says like since people are already having the technology, why to waste our resource on training to them? Why not to just go with the flow and let them do all the work, learn them, and then you are good. And once they have excelled in the same thing, it's more than enough. They can start practicing on the applications. So this is how they have done it. This is so. How was it like? Have you understood the history of Python? Why it is coming in nowadays? If someone is writing like those harsh comments in the chat, this comment box, please don't use it, else you will be removed. Let other persons also interact. Let it be a fruitful journey. How we are starting. There are people all over India who have joined. So please maintain the decorum and let's start enjoying the session. So this was the story of this Python part, how it has become come into play. Now the comes next part. You must have heard of these basic terms of implementations of Python. Implementations in Python, and you can also cross check. You must have heard of this Cthon, then Jthon, Java Python. We have Iron Python also available. Okay, you can see like I'm naming this group of Avengers over here. So we have Iron Python, Jthon, Cthon, PyPy. These are all few implementations of Python. And there is a normal Python also, Ruby Python we have. So why these things have come into play? Why all these names? So dear friends, like what happened? While the person who has built Python in 1991, he didn't had the Python system at that time. There was no Python system to practice. Nothing like that. So because there was no system like that, they have to use the previously built apps to work on. So those apps or application can be C that has come into play. or Java later on, or as people have started using the website, they also started using the Ruby as the platform. So Python programming was built as a logic using these programming languages only. Later on, once Python system was available, we got the Python literally as the programming language. So very first was Cython, that is C plus Python. Then there is next system, which was having Java as the software. So they also applied Java at the backend to make this Python. This Iron Python is like for the .NET developers who have built up. And this Iron Python is very much linked to your Google Colab and Jupyter Notebook. Why is that? Because it stands for IPY, Iron Python. And if I'm not wrong, you can see your Jupyter Notebook ends in this extension. Those who are familiar with Python, they can witness this one, but of course it's not necessary. And then we have Python, and for this we are actually having the files with extension .py nowadays. And Ruby Python, it's like another implementation. They were using Ruby at the backend to make it, and PyPy is different tool. Leave that thing. So for that reason, you had different implementations of Python. You started having this implementation, and people also adapted it. And that's why they found so much easier and they started doing it. They had fun, they have made beautiful apps. So it's a lot of opportunities nowadays you have with Python. I hope I'm clear on this part. So moving further, yes, I will start teaching about programming also, how to write in Python. It's just for non-technical persons who are not aware of the systems, we have to introduce these topics. And after this, I will be started taking this Python part. So what happened, the other languages like C and Java, you might have seen, like for C, you were writing something as void main, and then you start writing the program, maybe like int a is equal to 10 and char b is equal to h, something like that, and you encapsulate it. Similarly for Java also you have something like that. You will be using system and dot print n for it, for printing something. And you there also you actually define the integers, int a is equal to 10, char b is equal to h. So what happened, these programming languages, although it was designed by the programmers only, but they were good in linguistic. मतलब वो नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज में भी बहुत अच्छे थे, उनकी कमांड काफी थी. So for that reason they said that grammar has to be maintained, and while you're writing the program you have to terminate in that single quotes or maybe commas, like that. But Python was built by a programmer who was a mathematician. So for that reason, you will find it very much easier as you compared maths. If you remember the 10th level programming, that maths, what you do, that a is equal to 10, b is equal to 100, and we start divided. So my result will be 100 divided by 10, and you can write it in the form of yeah, b divided by a. So literally you write the syntax in the same format in your Python, and you can refer to this one. Now we will be starting our journey in Python, how to write and understand the basics of it. But just to be on the same page, and we are not required to install anything as of today for the next 1 week. The only reason is because I will be using the Google Colab. We have different versions of Python available. अब Python प्रैक्टिस कहाँ पे करना है, एक प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज के लिए एक प्लेटफॉर्म तो चाहिए आप सबको. प्रोग्राम बहुत से प्लेटफॉर्म आपके पास प्रेजेंट है, जैसे कि नॉर्मल पाइथन हो गया. दिस इज द ऑफिशियल Python software developed by the Python programmers who has designed Python itself. उसके बाद सेकंड आता है आपका PyCharm. They it was built by Java developers. And then we have our Anaconda. We also have VS Code, Visual Studio भी available रहता है आपके पास, and we have Spider. So in Anaconda we have two things. One is Jupyter, जहाँ पे आप practice कर सकते हैं, and one is Spider. For our session we will be using Collab. For all of these things it will be working on your local system. So it is has a limitation. जो आपके system की limitation है वही इनकी limitations रहेगी. For example, you have RAM of only 2 GB and someone has RAM of 8 GB. तो उसके mathematics जो 8 GB वाला है, he will can perform better a much good mathematics and programming with respect to 2 GB RAM. His system will not slow down. So this limitation what you had, Google provided a beautiful way to all of you, and they have provided this platform as Google Collab. Now in Google Collab you can write the Python programming and you just need internet server to work it for it. Only internet server you require. The rest everything details I'm going to share on live. How you're going to practice the Python. Okay, here it is. Yeah. So I hope the window is visible to all of you. So here is Google Colab, how you can find on the internet. To make it easier, what we have done, we are providing you on daily basis to practice work only. We will be providing a built up that Python notebook. So you don't have to work extensively. It has the details. But while I am working, I will be sharing all the details manually, how to write. So what you can do, you can go to this Google Collaboratory. I'm just giving you the steps. Go to this Google Colab, and in GitHub, we have the file. What is the GitHub link? That thing we'll be also sharing with all of you. You can refer it in that YouTube channel downside. There also we have mentioned the GitHub link and you can refer to it. So for GitHub, you have to copy and paste this shortcut. And the shortcut is here. Or you can directly search online also. It is present in the Code Scholar notebook. In the Code Scholar GitHub, you will find this particular icon, Python ML June 21. This is the first day what we have built up, and here is your first line, Python programming basic. Open this one, and here is the Jupyter file which you can practice on side by side. So copy the link, copy this whole link, and you have to paste it in Google Collaboratory, this GitHub section. Just be sure that GitHub is visible. Click here, press enter, and it is automatically going to show which notebook to pick up, and I will be using the very first notebook, that is Python basics. And just wait for few seconds, it will link it and it is going to show in that Google Collaboratory, and there it is. So this is, and of course you can see here in my GitHub the Python file name is 1, starting with 1, and Python basic. But what is the file name what you have received is the copy of it. So it is for your extensive use. Once you have practiced it, it will be saved in your Google Drive, and you can go to the file section also and download it as a soft copy. It will be available on your local system. So IPVNB is the Python notebook extension and PY is the Python extension. I'll be using Google Colab to write the Python codes. So this is what you can see in front of you. It is called as code cell, and here I'm going to write it. So I'm adding a few vacant lines. So these are all code cells. So in these code cells, how to write the Python? First, understand what are the data types in Python. Then we'll discuss how to write in Python. Leave that thing. Okay. I hope the screen is visible to all of you. And it is asking me sign in is required. Okay. Leave. Okay. I would request all of you to please sign in also. Okay. So here it is. So I was telling you about the data types. Before we write anything in any programming language, we have to understand what are the data types there. Data types are nothing but what are the characters, or what are your integers, what are your boolean, what are your other type of data like list and tuple. So in Python, we have two types of data types. First is the fundamental, fundamental data type. And these are the data types that will be used extensively if you learn how to write. So it's similar to you're learning Hindi, English, Malayalam, Marathi, French, German. You have to understand how to write the alphabets and how to write the numbers there. Similarly, if you are looking forward to work in Python, you have to understand what are the fundamental data types. Later on, you can learn how to make the sentence, how to go with higher work, add more proverbs in English like that. So similarly, the very first thing which is mandatory. So these are the fundamental data types. And second we have derived. Like in this derived, what happens? These are the data types which are built on fundamental. So those who know Python, they can link it up. But those who doesn't know, I'm just giving you a heads up here. The fundamental data type are something like your string, your integer, complex numbers, float numbers, and your boolean. These are example of your fundamental data types. Maybe one or more less, that's it. And then we have derived, in which we cover, which are actually built on this fundamental. कि अब इनके collection कर दो, collection of integer and string, what are these called as? Collection of your complex and string, what are they called as? So this is how it happens. So derived are sets, your dictionary, list, tuple, and you have bytes, byte array. Of course, these we are most of the things we will try to cover, but we will not go in deep as we have to also cover machine learning in this week only. So derived we have sets, dictionary, list, tuple, bytes, and byte array. And we might have other one or two other things also. Leave that thing. Now in data types, how to write the string in our Python. So write a string. You simply write something as a variable on the left side and then pass in the single quotes or double quotes. But first I am writing how to display the string. String, it can, because it can take the message also. And how to display it? Display anything. Display anything. Write the print statement, and in the brackets write down the mathematical equation or numbers or your strings, boolean, something like that. So I'm writing here, hello everyone. Just run it. Not authorized by the Google, run anyway. How I have run it? I was using the shortcut but control plus enter. But even if you don't know what you can do, from this circle, play button, what you can see here, so it shows like this will run this particular cell, and the shortcut is control enter, and after that it has generated the internet connection. Now it will not take much time, because now it is showing me this is the RAM and hard disk available to you. The RAM what the Google Collab that provides to us around 20.12 GB, and the space they are providing is 107 GB. 107 GB on their server, 12 GB RAM on their server. So your system is just working as a virtual machine. So system is just like a box to you. Now independent your system is on 1 GB RAM or 2 GB RAM, it's fine. You just need to have internet connection, one Google account, and then you can start working with your Google Colab. Start your journey in Python and machine learning. So this is how I have printed something, and it has been shown in the downside. If I would like to print something as a mathematical equation, like 30 plus 10 into 9 minus 5, something like that, I don't know the answer, run it, and it is again control plus enter. The answer is 115. So these are the ways how you can run and how you can print it. Now we have not started the string as of now. You have seen something in the double quotes. I have written hello everyone. So what I will be doing, I will be storing this hello everyone into a variable. So this is like something a, and a, hello everyone, and after that you can write down print a, run it, and here is the message. So the strings are something are defined as a collection of characters. Strings are defined as your collection of characters, and how you can write the string in double quotes. You can also write the strings in single quotes. I'm writing now B here, and just writing the month is June 21, print B. Now A and B both will be printed out. So hello everyone and June 21. Okay, so I will be writing this June 21 is single quotes to highlight the difference. Here it is. So even if you write something in the double quotes or you write something in the single quotes, that you can it will be printed out. What is IDE? Okay, so IDE is defined as integrated development environment, and for each that Python has multiple integrated development environment what I have already named, like your Python IDE or PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter, this Google Colab itself. This is also your IDE. So in this scenario, we have just seen the very first fundamental data type, how to write the strings, how to write the integers. You can write it something now, C is equal to 100, and I'm just going to perform the operation of C and D. So C and D are numbers here, and you don't have to mention anything. Python will automatically say that these are the numbers, and I'm performing the operation of sum, print C plus D. Now this operation will be printed out and the sum will be solved. Now what is the data type? It's not like that I'm saying something and you will believe it. So please check the data type along with that. The data type is, in Python you can write down type keyword, and inside the type keyword write down the variable. So I have written A, B, C and D. I'm writing A here. and print the type of it. And here I have B, C, D. And you can will check all the types what we have. So first two were strings. How come? Because they have been written in the double quotes or single quotes. The moment you have written something like that, Python will understand that you are referring here something that char a is equal to that char a is equal to your hello everyone in double quotes what you have written the message. So it will by default understand that you are talking about character type, your string type. Strings या characters क्या होते हैं वो double quotes से समझ जाता है. Similarly यहाँ पर भी if you write by default at the backend it will understand that you are writing something as char b is equal to June 21 by default. If you go down also it will by default understand because you have not written any dot here. So this will be a number. C is a number और वो भी integer number. Similarly D is a integer number. But the moment I have written something as 20.3, this point has been given. This time it will understand that you're talking about floating point. And now if I run this one, you will also see the D data type on the bottom will be shown as float. And here it is. So in Python, what happens? Everything in Python is referred to as object. What are the other benefits of Python we have? Okay, here it is. I'm just giving you a glimpse of it, which you will not find in the books. This we have learned in other fields of job. Okay, so here it is. So in Python, everything you talk about is an object. There is nothing like pointer here. So if you talk about memory allocation, backend पे सबका एक memory allocation रहता है. If you are using thousands of variables in Python, it will need some space to store those variables. So just if I'm just giving you a tip here, learn about this sky. First of all, you will get the idea. So in sky we have the characters from 0 to 9, our capital A to Z, smaller case A to Z, all your special characters on the keyboard. Look at your keyboard, like dollar sign or hash, that not delta, less than, greater than, plus. These are all given in sky characters. So what it says, the objects are everything, and they will be taking the space by default. Default object space we have. So this means like sky characters जो हम यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं, they are already taking the place in the memory, and the space can be something as 100 for this is space, and the object I am referring is the one here. It might be 200 for B as a character. It might be 500 for your what you have written. Might be 70 for your if. So they have built-in spaces, and whatever you're writing as the variable, your a equal to something or b equal to c equal to d equal to, you are assigning a memory allocation to it. ये 100 इसको अब रेफर करेगा. It is just for reference purpose, but you are not allocating any space to a. 200 is allocated to b as an example, 500 to c, and 70 to d. They are just referring to the space. You are not giving the space to your a, b, c, and d. They are giving another space which are known as variable space. So one is object space and then is variable space we have. In the variables you will be storing this a, b, c, and d. So in Python everything is the object, your all data types, your fundamental data types what I have written, as well as your derived data types. Now how to check what is the memory allocation? भला मैंने ये क्या बता दिया, ये सर ने कहाँ झोल कर दिया. Okay, let me make it simple to all of you and share it back. Here it is. Okay. Hmm. So if I write something as this, just writing something dummy, that n1 is equal to 10 and my n2 is equal to 10. This is also 10. I'm writing just c2 is equal to h, smaller h, and your c3 is equal to capital H. Now just check it very carefully. How to check the memory in check memory in Python using your ID. I'm writing different IDs for all of them. So print ID of n1, n1, then we have n2, we have c2, and we have c3. Very carefully see here that my n1 and n2, they were both written 10, and for that reason they are having the same memory address. And this is the memory address for not for n1 and n2. This is the memory address of 10. So n1 and n2 are highlighting to this 10. You are highlighting to this 10 variable. If you write here, you are highlighting to the address. This 10 is already taking the place in the backend. Similarly, small h and capital H, they are present on different memory allocations. If I write something, क्या ये दोनों equal है? Whether my n1 equal to n2, so you will find it as true here, as the value at the backend refers to the same memory location. Both are referring to 10 only at the backend. You can also write along with that either n1 is n1 equal to your 10. That is also true. So this is how you have performed the actions. Got it the idea how memory allocation the space are taking space at the backend? So you have just seen how to write the string and how to write numbers. The other types of fundamental data types we have complex numbers, and complex, just remember the basic maths of 11th standard now. It is a combination of your real number plus your imaginary number. And how to write the imaginary number? You write something as iota to multiply here. So I'm going to write the same thing, but in Python that iota is referred as j here. So I'm taking c1 is equal to 6 plus 4j, and it is executed. Let's check the data type for it. So print c1 and print type of c1. Here it is. So 6 plus 4j you have printed out, and this is the class complex. So we have a complex data type. How we can look at it? This is the way. So we have seen our integer, float, string, and complex. The next type that comes is the Boolean variable. So the Boolean value is either true or false. These are referred to as Boolean value, and it is very beautifully used when you are able to check some conditions. So true means that it is correct. If I write something 10 equal to 10, क्या ये दोनों equal है? So it is true. But is 10 equal to 9? So it will be false. So just to check the condition of true and false, we I have this boolean as at the backend. True means it is correct, false means it is incorrect. So this was the basics of the fundamental data types. I hope I am clear and going good with the way. Now for attendance, my dear participants, the attendance is on the particular link, and I would request you to please take the screenshot for this one. Here is the link. Please take the screenshot. We'll just wait for 10 seconds. Or you can apply right here. Even if you have missed this one, you can just, it's a YouTube live. So you can scroll back in the YouTube live and again get this one. So apply on the link, just write the details, and it is very important for us to see that you are actually attending. Request you to please don't share in the groups. You are doing the hard work by coming in the session and attending till now. Please don't share in the groups. Okay, and it always works. You cannot say the link is not working, something like that. It always works for us. Okay, so is the video clear to all of you, or is it something blurred coming up? Okay, so I'm closing the. So you can take the screenshot who are watching the video. Please, the link is active till midnight. Please kindly uh, mark if you would like defaults. Here it is. Now we have seen these types, like what are the basic fundamental data types. Now I was using this A, B, C, D, something N1, N2, C1, C2. ये है क्या? These are referred to as variables, and they are written on the they are the parameters used to take value, and these values can be numbers also, or it can be your characters also. These things are already there. Now everything you will also find in the same notebook. I'm now just scrolling a downside to show how to write the variables. We have done a little bit hard work for that. You can look forward to it. Here it is. You can just go and check it is all of them, how to work with all of them. So this basic data types we have, and here I'm taking x equal to 3. How to check what is a type, so what it prints out, and how we can do the mathematics also directly. We can print it up, and this is how it works. How to go with the variables. I'm leaving the math to all of you as per the time limitations, and we have just done all the hard work here. You can refer to this particular file. It is present on a GitHub. This is the particular link. We will also sharing the link with all of you in the YouTube channel downside if it is not available. I'll leave it. Uh, hmm. Let's discuss how to write the variables. Okay, so how to write variables? So variables, while I was writing something as a equal to 10 or b is equal to 2, on the left side these are called as the variables. And you can also do the comment like how I am doing on the above using hash sign. This is for a single line comment. Wherever I put hash sign, this thing will be taken at the backend as a sentence. Python will not do any task. So even after that, I'm just printing here b, and after this I am doing the task of print new line. I'm just writing this one, and you can see here I have written in the comment. So if I run this, only b is printed, that b is equal to 2. After that, even I have written print, it is not printed. The only reason is I have written a hash sign here. So please avoid this hash sign if you would like to print it up, or if you just want some information to be there. And as a programmer, after a few months or days or after a few years, you're looking at back your program, these comments will help you recognize what you have done at that time. So it is very mandatory for the programmers. Now, how to write variables? Just keep points here, that variables can be of any length. I can write something as x is equal to 1. I can write something as new variable and something 8525, something like that, is equal to 1. Or even I can write a long string is equal to 1. All of these things will be executed. You can see here there is no error. This have been executed. So if you like to print this one, print, okay, x, and then we have print that new variable. Just copying it here, and last print this bigger one, and all of these will be printed out. The value is 1 only. So of course in corporates it is not recommended to go with that amount of length. You please go with the limited one. So this is the first line. Second thing, in the variables also, names can include characters or alphabets, or numbers, underscore. These things you can do. So how I can write down the names? So for example, I'm writing something as A20 is equal to hello, or I'm writing something as A underscore 20 is equal to the code scholar. So both these things will be printed out. Not printed like it will be executed. I've not printed up. Okay, where it is gone. Okay, sorry, it was deleted by mistake. So the third point was that the variables can include your numbers or your characters or your underscore. So I was writing something as my A20 is equal to the code scholar, or I was writing something as A underscore 20 is equal to college Baba, something like this. Let's print it, whether it will be displayed on the outside or not. A20 and A underscore 20. So you can see here both the variables have been printed out. It can contain your numbers, characters, but these numbers should not be written in the first line, that is as the first character. If I write something as 20a is equal to hello, it will pop the error. You can see here syntax error. So numbers can be written but not at the starting. Underscore you can write in the starting. If I write underscore here, you can see here it has been executed. I have not printed out, but you can now compare that it has been executed. Fourth point, No special characters. Those special characters are your all the extra non-numeric numbers or alphabets like this ones. These are your special characters, and you can go further. So I can write something as if I write a $20 is equal to the code scholar, you will find it as an error. Similarly, I cannot use a hash sign also. Hash sign is not there, and here it is. Oh, sorry, hash was taken because this a was already there in my database. If I write something as v here, so this will pop the error because v I have not declared anywhere in the entire program. A actually I already declared as 100 if you just scroll back the video and just look at it. So should not be no special characters. Last is no keywords or no Python built-in keywords, because keywords have a very important meaning in Python. We have certain keywords here. For example, I'm just showing the keywords and print keywords dot print keywords no modern keywords. Okay, keyword Python keyword list from keyword module. Just let me help you with the list also. This Python keywords, a list of keywords. Okay, I'm forgetting the particular command how to look at it, but keyword is a specific one. If you don't know, you can write something in the help section. So here it is. What are the keywords we have in Python? It is present here is keyword. Okay. So these are all the Python keywords what you cannot use, but I was using the command to get it in the Python itself. I think here it is. KW list. Okay. So this was I was missing. It's not K list, it's KW keyword list. And these are the Python keywords which you cannot use in the while naming. So this means I cannot write something as and is equal to 100. This is not executed. It will show the error, invalid syntax. Or I cannot write something as your what is else written def. Def is equal to something new word. So this thing we cannot write. So 5 rules how to write a variable in Python. The very first thing, the variables can be of any length. Second thing, it should not contain any special characters. Third, it can contain numbers, characters, and your underscore. Fourth, the variable name should not start with the numbers, but it can start with the underscore. And fifth, you cannot use this built-in keywords for variable naming. Okay, so this is the basically the normal knowledge that you need to have, and I think that's it for today. We can wrap up the session for today. For homework, you can assume that you can just go to this particular link, GitHub link, which we'll be sharing in the YouTube channel downside also, and you can refer here. All the work has been done to you. It even contains the other types of data types. So read it, not much, but we will discuss this tomorrow also. So tomorrow also all Python, and after that we will start switching towards our machine learning basics. And I think that after day after tomorrow you will be fascinated because we are going to have some Instagram influencer. He has learned from us and now he's spreading the knowledge in his own ways. And he has like so many followers on his Instagram channel. We are trying to align that person. So let's hope for best. He also comes on our platform. And that's it for today, everyone. Take care. I'll be ending the stream as of now. Any doubts you have, you can ask in the chat box. We can spare 1 2 minutes to discuss the doubts or anything you would like to ask. Okay, so everyone, thank you for taking today's session. We'll meet up tomorrow with the other version of Python, how we can do it. Take care and happy evening. Okay, GitHub link you will have in the subscribe channel also, but I'm just getting in the chat box. This is the GitHub link. Okay, you can copy this GitHub link and start the process what I have done in the first 20 minutes, how to work with Python. Yeah, I'm working as business analytics nowadays, not as data analyst. I have now higher profile with respect to that. Okay, guys, thank you. Take care.